Welcome to Success Blueprint. My name is Scott Hansen and I am your host. And on this show, we get a chance to interview some of the best, most successful thought leaders in all of Chicago. And today is absolutely no different. We have an opportunity to interview one of the most successful individuals in Chicagoland area around the financial services company, Mr. Roch Tranel. Roch, welcome to the program. How are you?
Thank you, Scott. I'm doing well, and I'm glad to be here today. Thanks
Good,
for
good.
inviting me.
Tell a little bit about who you are and kind of how you started the company, a little bit about the company.
Yeah, we've celebrated 25 years last October, and we're really excited about that. I'm Roch Tranel. I'm a certified financial planner. Our firm is built around helping people enjoy a better life. And obviously, as a financial planning firm, the core of that is helping them make really good decisions with their financial resources, their taxes, their estate planning, and what have you. But it's predicated just around making sure that people are really clear and really confident with their money so they can make really good decisions.
Okay. How did you end up starting the business? How did you get into the financial world?
Yeah, it's interesting. I graduated from college and I always knew I wanted to start my own business.
Okay.
And I started to work with a major retail firm in Chicago, got some management experience that I desperately needed. It would have been foolish for me to start my business right out of college with the lack of management and delegation skills that I needed. And the entire time I'm going to franchise shows, business opportunity shows, and found out about Money Concepts, our broker-dealer that we work with. And they had a great platform for us to build our financial planning business. And actually, back in 1988, when we started the business, I didn't know that much about financial planning, and financial planning wasn't even that well known. So I just started with a company loosely understanding what financial planning was, because the general population didn't understand what financial planning was, but knew that helping people, just wanting to help people, and joining with a company that was really good at helping people was a perfect match.
So one of the things that we talk about in the show is how, if someone's watching the show right now and they wanted to, maybe they start out in corporate America, but they wanted to make the jump to becoming an entrepreneur and starting their own business. When you did that and you went through the process, was there a time in your life where you said, I don't know if this is worth it, I don't know if the sacrifice is worth it, and we all know the statistics that X amount of businesses do fail. Did that ever cross your mind, the fear factor, or we call the terror bearer, did that ever creep into your mind, and I don't know if I can make this happen?
No, never. I put a stake in the ground when I started the business, and I said, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business owner, I'm about helping people. There were certainly some challenging times in hiring people and just normal parts of business development. The fear of the current building we're in is 20,000 square feet. When we first bought that, that was a big nut to carry. So there were certainly some times where there was some fear and trepidation, but I never ever had the thought, this isn't going to work, or I wonder what I'm doing, or boy, what was I thinking? I put that stake in the ground and I said, this is the hill I'm willing to die on. Being a financial advisor, owning my own company, and helping people.
Where does that come from? Is your family, do you come from maybe a family of entrepreneurs, or is it just, you said, you know what, this is what I've always wanted to do, I like the financial services business, I like helping people, and now is my time, I'm going to put the stake in, let's go make it happen?
Yeah, my parents were farmers, so in essence they were entrepreneurs, because you're self-employed being a farmer. But it's having the mindset that I am successful, I was going to be successful, that failure was not an option as a piece of it, and just really charging forward. And you get charged up helping people.
Right.
When you breathe life into other people, you just naturally have energy, and it breathes life into you, and it's a very rewarding career. So I don't know where it came from, it's innately, I guess, but it's a very exciting career to be in.
A lot of people we talk about, again, to entrepreneurs and other successful people in the corporate world, or people that have maybe started their own companies, they talk about persistence and perseverance. What's one word that you think would describe yourself when, not only maybe in business, but maybe in your personal life? If one of your friends was sitting right here, how would they describe you?
Yeah, I think they would say very hard worker. And I think to be in business, you have to be a very, very hard worker. You have to be very smart, especially when you're dealing with people's money and finance. So just being a really hard worker, being really smart, and just always doing the right thing. We talk about character at our company. Character's always doing the right thing, even when no one's watching. I think if you're a hard worker and really smart, and wanting just to have that right, always doing the right things for your clients, some good things are going to happen. I think that's how I want to be remembered, and I think that's what people would say about me.
Okay. So how important would you say leadership is in your company? And when we're talking to someone that, again, wants to maybe become an entrepreneur, how important is the word leadership? Because I think leadership gets an interesting name. I think sometimes people think leadership, you have to be a great orator, or maybe you lead companies or even countries or states.
Mm-hmm.
How important is leadership, do you think?
Yeah, the world has some big problems, and the world needs some great leaders. And I think the common culture is that we're looking outwardly for other people to solve problems. And my belief is that we need to look inwardly and become really great leaders. Obviously lead ourselves. We need to get out of bed with the right attitude, being able to work hard with the right character. We need to lead our families and being strong leaders of our families. A lot of families are lacking leadership. And then lead at work. Show up work on time, stay late, get things done, and encourage your coworkers. And then you need to be a good leader at church. And whatever faith you belong to, be a really good leader at church, and then be a good leader in your community. So leadership is really important to solving the world's problems. But specifically to your question about being a great leader at work, leadership at work is about saying we want to service, we want to provide, and we're going to make money at servicing others, not at the expense of others. And getting a group of people to charge forward with the company's purpose of accomplishing that goal is just really important. And there's a tremendous lack of leadership in the world. So I'm a big believer in leadership, and I would just encourage you and all the listeners out there to get as involved and connected with as much leadership program as possible, because it's just direly needed out there.
That's great. Yeah, it's one thing. One of the things that I've been really focusing on in my business is more leadership and how to help people have more leadership roles. And I think, like we've discussed, I think a lot of people feel that leadership you have to have a title, whether it's boss, manager, owner, whatever. And what you're saying is, irregardless of what your title is,
Correct.
It's important to lead yourself first and understand that you absolutely are a leader in all areas of your life.
That's right. You're leading by example, by being a really good leader. If you want people to follow you, you better be the first one at work and the last one there, and working with intention and respecting and honoring your team and your company's purpose. And if you're doing that, people naturally want what you got and want to be behind you and move your cause forward. So it's interesting to people. They say, well, lead yourself. Isn't that pretty obvious? No, I think you got to be really good at and conscientious, intentional about leading yourself first, Scott.
Intentional, which is a great word, which is being on purpose when it comes to being a leader, or when it comes to doing anything in your business or in your life. One of the things that we also talk about is how important associations are.
Yeah.
You know, I always talk about playing up or playing with other people that are playing big in life. The birds of a feather flock together mentality. How important do you think associations are, whether they're at work, in church, or in your personal life? And how do these associations, or how can these associations not only help yourself, but also help other individuals as well?
Yeah, so if you're really intentional about the people that you're hanging around, that you spend the most time with, there's studies that show that you actually become the average of the 5 or 10 people that you spend the most time with. So if you spend the most time with people that take luxurious vacations, and that's what they talk about, guess what you're going to take? Luxurious vacations.
Sure.
If you hang around people that make a certain income, you're going to gravitate and be an average of those folks that you spend the most time with. So I think that when I was a young man first growing up, I thought that my relationships were just happenstance. I happened to go to college with these group of friends, and I was supposed to stay connected with them. I happened to have these coworkers. I happened to go to church with these folks. But I think what I've realized as I've grown up and got a little bit more wisdom is that you need to be really intentional about who you spend a lot of your time with, and understand those important people and who are just acquaintances on the outside, and how they influence you and how you influence them. So I think that your case to being intentional about who you spend a lot of time with or your associations is really, really important.
That's great. That's great. So kind of a parallel off the associations, and not only associations, but also associating yourself with so many people that are, like you said, like-minded, that you have to be intentional. It doesn't just happen. If someone's watching and they're saying, well, so Roch, does that mean that I have to separate myself from some of my negative friends, or people that I've been hanging out with for a while that maybe aren't really necessarily going where I want to go, are you saying that I need to start finding new people to kind of hang with and associate myself with?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, I'm saying be really clear about who you are. Be authentic about who you are. And that'll just ooze out of you. And the people that are continuing to say, that business will never work, why are you trying to start this? The last 3 people I know that started businesses failed. They'll naturally just gravitate away to people that are more congruent with their values. And you being really clear about what your values are will gravitate towards other successful people. You won't have to say, Scott, please don't call me anymore. You'll naturally gravitate towards people that are supportive and breathing life into you, and those folks that aren't just won't even call you anymore. They won't want to be around you. It won't feel natural to them. It'll feel like, wow, why is Scott so positive all the time? It would be like an oil and water type thing. So I don't think you'll have to get rid of them. You'll just be intentional about who you want to be affiliated with, and you'll surround yourself with those people. It'll insulate you from some of the negative people.
One of the things that I've had success in doing is surrounding myself not only with people that you're talking about, people that are playing bigger or playing up in life, but also through personal development, whether it's through books or through audios. Just by listening to you, you've obviously done a lot of personal development in your life.
Yes.
How did you get started on the personal development movement, and how long has it been since you've been studying personal development?
When I was in college, I had a mentor that shared some of the great thought leaders with me. I never heard of them ever before. And the Brian Tracy's of the world, the Dale Carnegie's of the world, never heard of them before. And so a mentor got me started and helped shape my thinking, and I got real serious about it. And I got real excited about it and made myself a student of some of the great thought leaders on the planet. And it really has impacted my life positively. So when I read something, I don't just listen to it. I listen to it and re-listen to it. I take notes. I have a white wall in my office. I take some of the key points down and make sure that I really make the points that are important a part of my life. And I really take that seriously. And I think all your listeners should do the same thing. Somehow come up with a way to get connected with the thought leaders. Whatever the price is, it's worth it. And then not just listen to it, but say, how am I going to incorporate this based on my life and my values and my thoughts? How am I going to incorporate it in my life?
I know it's been a huge difference maker in my life because, like you, it's been a little while. And I had a mentor also who said, you should listen to a Jack Canfield or a Brian Tracy or a Tony Robbins back in the day. And it's been part of my life. And it's amazing. I tell people all the time, in personal development, it's like building a muscle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't get it right away. You don't look the way you want to look in a week or in a month, but it's over time. And before you know it, you wake up one day and you're talking different. Maybe you're walking a little bit different, and you're associating with other people that are playing in the game or in the industry that you're playing, that you're in.
Yeah.
So great point. How would you say that the Tranel Group is different than maybe other financial institutions? I know that you guys are huge with community. Mm-hmm. I know that you're big into helping other people with their business. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, we couldn't do any of that if the Tranel Financial Group wasn't wildly successful. If we were not meeting the expectations of our clients and then wildly exceeding them, we couldn't do anything we're doing on the Tranel Movement side. So we have a full-service financial planning firm. We help clients with their investments, their financial planning, tax, estate planning, and I believe we do an excellent job at doing that. I really do. So we do a great job. Anybody would love the business that we have, would view it as a great financial success, a great successful business. And because of that, we've created the Tranel Movement. And we said, how do we transfer our gifts and our talents to the community at large and have an even larger impact on not just those that are investing with us, but on those that are just somehow affiliated or connected with us. So we have the Tranel Movement. It's called thetranelmovement.com. And we have Freedom One Networking. We have over 100 people that come to our office on a weekly basis to get connected with other entrepreneurs, associations, affiliations. We have Leadership One, where once a month we have leaders gathering together to hear about best practices. And we have local speakers come in. It's a shoot off of the Global Leadership Summit of Willow Creek Church. We have a church that's starting on Sundays. We have 2 Toastmasters groups. We have an Authentic Manhood, Appraising Women, all faith-based meetings that we have. So the Tranel Movement is about breathing life into the community and just making some really good things happen. we're allowed to do that because the Tranel Financial Group is so successful. And the Friendship Economy, the book that I wrote, is talking about intentionally building these communities around your values and what's really important to you. Leadership is important, so I get leaders together once a month. Building entrepreneurs and building other companies up is really important to me, so we have Freedom One networking. And having men be very good leaders of their family and women be very good leaders of their family is really important to me, so we have those groups. If you're going to be a good leader, you better be a good communicator. So Toastmasters is really important. So we have 2 Toastmasters groups that are meeting. So things that are important to me are a part of the Tranel movement, and where others that are attracted to that come in, others that aren't, like, oh, that's not for me. I'll go, they'll affiliate somewhere else, as you say.
It's interesting listening to you, and I'm thinking, when do you sleep? I mean, when do you sleep? But it obviously oozes out of you,
Yes.
the passion. You can just see it oozes out of you. People that are listening and watching the program right now, someone might be out there saying, I would love to have the success that Roch Tranel has had. As someone maybe might be listening to the show, seeing you and thinking, wow, this is the success story. Not only does this person have a successful business, but he reaches out to the community. He brings other entrepreneurs and business folks into the group, and everybody has a good time, and everybody gets impacted and impacts other people. What would you say to someone that's listening to it right now? Where would they take the first step? What's one maybe piece of advice you can give somebody that was where you were at 25, 30 years ago, that I would love to do that, but I don't know if I have the goods to do it?
If I was starting all over again, I'd be very intentional about the community that I was building. And I would have built a community faster, and it would be a bigger community than it is today. The book, The Friend Economy, that I wrote, is a book about how to do that. It's really telling my story about how I built these intentional communities. And I invite people to attend. I underwrite the cost of all of it. I don't want cost to be a barrier for anybody to join any of these communities that I put together. And so I invite someone to call me personally. I've got my personal phone number in the book. They can email me. They can go to thefriendeconomy.com and get all this information. And come to one of our events and just check it out. And then start with 5 or 10 people. Build a community of small people that are like-minded, and just in a grassroots way, just watch it grow. It'll be very, very exciting.
Wow, that's incredible. So as I was reading the book, one of the things that stood out to me, and you addressed this a little bit earlier, which was most people in business, they want to separate business from personal life.
Yes.
And in 2008, in reading your book, that all collapsed, or a lot of that collapsed, especially for small businesses.
Yeah.
What you're saying in the book is, rather than separating your personal from your business life, from your professional life, you should combine the two.
Yes.
Because it's important for people to do business with people they know, like, and trust.
Yes.
Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, so today you have your personal life and your business life, and the intersection is small. And I'm encouraging people to be really true to who they are and have that intersection be most of the 2 circles of their business and merge together. And I don't know why people are uncomfortable about talking about business at their soccer game, or church at the soccer games. But I'm just telling people, merge all that together and some really great things will happen. And you want to breathe life into other people. You want to do business with your friends at soccer and church, and they'll want to do business with you. That's how business is going to be done today. Social media is awesome, and it'll help support that. But I think people want to do business with people they know, that they already trust, that they already have a relationship with. And I'm just encouraging them to bridge that gap of fear and get connected. Get more connected today. If you're a really good friend, you're not going to leave you're a business owner because you're going to save $10 somewhere else because somebody has a $10 coupon somewhere. Right. If you're good friends, you're going to stay with. And if you really want to get the $10 coupon, your friend will probably honor a competitor's coupon, right?
Right, sure.
So I'm just encouraging people to do business with their friends and build a strong community of people that will help them through good times and bad.
As maybe someone is listening to you say that, I know in my previous life, I've done other businesses where it was, you talk to maybe your friends and family, and I think maybe the stigma might be, oh, he or she is trying to sell me on their business.
Yeah.
How do you close the gap? Or how do you make it where it's, if you're at a soccer game like you just mentioned, and maybe you're a life insurance agent or you own a car business or whatever it is in the community, how do you separate, well, I don't want to be a pest, or I don't want to subject someone to my business at the soccer game or at a networking event, versus I'm the person that could absolutely add value and help them at the same time? Because I think a lot of people listening might be saying, well, I don't know if I want to talk to my friends and family about my business. But you're saying get over that fear, because in the long run, they absolutely want to do business, again, with people they know, like, and trust.
Right. I learned that early on in my career when I didn't approach some of my friends and family. And they came to me later, and I saw them in a horrible investment product. And they came and said, I wish we would have talked earlier. And I'm like, you know what? That's my fault. Scott, that's my fault for not approaching them. That's not their fault for someone else selling them on something that was an inferior product to what we had. And I think what happens when you're at the soccer game in the church and you're really authentic and you feel comfortable in your own skin, you just ooze some positive, radiant energy. And people say, I want what he's got. You don't have to tell people you sell life insurance. If you're the most positive guy in the room and you are helping other people, they're going to figure out that you do life insurance. Somebody's going to Google you to figure out what you do, and they're going to get connected with you by being the most positive, hopeful, radiant person in the room. And if you do that at the soccer field, somebody's going to say, now, what do you do? Or how can I get connected with you? They'll just want to do business with you. They'll want to be associated with you.
And I think it comes back to what we first started the conversation with, which was leadership and influence and being comfortable in your own skin.
Right.
It's not like you have to put on another face.
That's right.
Or another mask to say, well, I'm at a soccer game or I'm at a church function. I now have to put on the life insurance.
Right.
You are who you are. You're so comfortable in your own skin that people are going to want to know what you're up to. Oh, and by the way, as a subsidiary of that, I do sell life insurance or whatever.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Or cars or whatever.
Or whatever it is that you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how can people get in touch with not only you, but also the Friend Economy?
TheFriendEconomy.com is the website that I would encourage you to go to. You can go to Amazon.com and purchase the book as well. Or you can give us a call at 847-680-9050 and just ask for me. And I'll help you get your own community set up in your church, in your town, in your business, however best suits the viewer. I'll help them get it set up.
That's great. And I can absolutely attest to the professionalism at the networking event with Roch. It's a class act organization.
Thank you.
I've been there a few times, and I've told this story before. What amazes me about the group that you put on is, unlike other networking groups, the group that you put on, you can tell that it's a service-first mentality. Mm. And when I first went there as a new person, what was interesting to me is that in a typical networking event, everybody gives their elevator pitch, and then they go around the room and they talk about the chamber or the networking organization or whatever, and they get their food and then they leave. Mm-hmm. What's great about Roch's organization is, as a new person, it's mandatory that everybody approaches you and hands out a business card. So everybody in the room lines up and starts handing out the business card and introducing themselves to you. And what was amazing to me is everybody always asks, how can I help you? Yeah. How can I serve you? And that was one of the first times that I ever heard it for someone that's successful like yourself. When we first met, it's the first question you asked me was, how may I serve you? How can I help you in whatever you're doing?
Mm-hmm. And the more you do for others, the more you do for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, the old Jim Rohn quote, right? Help other people do it. Help other people get what they want. You'll have everything that you want. Yes. Which is tremendous. So I can't thank you enough for coming on the show, for being here and really telling your story and helping people out. And if you haven't got your copy of it, go get your copy today. The Friend Economy. It really is as you can see, a pretty quick hitter and a simple, not a simple, but a small book that could really help you think about business and think about your community in a much different light. Yeah. So thanks again, Bob.
Yeah, thanks.
I really appreciate your time. So that's another episode of Success Blueprint. Again, I'm your host, Scott Hansen, and make sure to continue to watch because we'll have another episode where we interview another successful individual on this show, another successful business person very shortly. So as usual, go out today, make it a great day because you absolutely deserve it. Take care.